I'm Tom Varner, and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, we visit Cahokia Mounds in Collinsville, Illinois. Cahokia Mounds is an Illinois State Historic Site. It is a U.S. historic landmark. It is listed in the United States Historic Register, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Cahokia Mounds is a city where the Mississippian people lived. It was one of the largest cities at that time east of the Mississippi River. At its zenith in around 1200 AD, there were around 20,000 people that were living in what is now considered the Cahokia Mounds area. That was more people than were living in the city of London in England at that time. The rise of the Mississippian city here coincided with the rise of several other Native American civilizations, such as the Chaco culture out in Arizona. Surprisingly, by around 1300, the entire area was completely abandoned. And still to this day, no one knows exactly why. There have been many theories that have been speculated and thrown about. Most scholars seem to think it had something to do with the lack of a food supply, that perhaps the area had become overhunted and it was no longer capable of sustaining the population that was here. Now, one of the notable things about the people that lived around the Cahokia Mounds area were the actual mounds themselves that were somehow tied to their civilization. And behind me is Monk's Mound. It is the largest mound that still remains here in the Cahokia area. It is believed that Monk's Mound, which is behind me here, was the focal point for the people that lived here and for their culture. Although Monk's Mound is the largest mound that we are aware of the Mississippian people, there were hundreds of mounds similar, although not as large in size as Monk's Mound, that were all around this area. Now, even in St. Louis, across the river, along the riverfront there were several large mounds that we know existed and were there for many, many years until they were torn down, destroyed for riverfront property. This goes back to the 1800s. So today we're just going to take a look at some of the sites that are here at Cahokia Mounds. There is this wooden stockade, which is a replica of what was believed to have been the stockade here, that surrounded the entire Monk's Mound area. That's the stockade would have been over 2 miles in length, consisting of wooden beams quite similar to the ones that are here. This billboard here talks about the stockade, and this illustration right here shows you where the stockade wall is believed to have all been. They know for sure that where the solid line is, there was definitely a wall there. The dotted line represents where they believe the rest of the stockade wall was at. Now, another interesting tidbit about the Cahokia Mounds site is that it is the largest archaeological dig site in the United States and one of the largest in North America. The only sites in North America that are larger are the ones in Mexico. Just to kind of give you a perspective, you can see a couple people there climbing up the stairs to the top of Monk's Mound. Now, my Monk's Mound is the largest of the mounds at the Cahokia site. It is by far the only mound here. Thanks to the preservation efforts and the establishment of this park, several other mounds have been saved as well. You can see those across the street here. See there are a couple other mounds that are located in the same vicinity as Monk's Mound. Now, it might be difficult to read, but this informative placard sign just tells about the stairway here, and that while it is not constructed of the same materials that the stairway of the people who lived here had made the stairway, it is in the same location, providing safe access to the top. Alright, I think that's enough talking for now. It's time for climbing. I did it! I made it to the top of Monk's Mound! Now, excavation of this back part of the mound has revealed that at one time there was a structure of some sort that was here that had its own small fence or stockade. It is believed that whoever lived here was either the high chief or the lead healer, or perhaps the person who lived there was the combination of the two. But whoever it was someone of great importance. The views up here are incredible. On this one side, you can see the stockades that we were at earlier. They look so small and tiny from up here. You have such great views from the top of here. You can even see the St. Louis skyline and the St. Louis Arch. I'm standing now next to the center pole of Woodhenge. Woodhenge is a large solar calendar believed to be used by the Mississippian people who lived here. Several large wooden poles were placed into the ground in a circular fashion around a center pole, which I am standing next to. It is believed that the people who lived here used Woodhenge as a solar calendar, as the way the poles are lined up. They have special alignments with some of the mounds in the area during the solstices and equinoxes, as well as just, being able to tell time in general. There were at least 5 known Woodhenges that were built right around this vicinity. This recreation here is a recreation of Woodhenge 3. Now, that large mound there in the background is Monk's Mound. Still to this day now, if you stand in this spot at the center of Woodhenge during the fall and spring equinoxes, when the sun rises, it appears to rise directly above the front of Monk's Mound. Okay, this is the Cahokia Mounds Interpretive Center. There is a museum inside as well as a small gift shop. And we're gonna go in and check it out. This little display outside of the Interpretive Center talks about the National Road. The National Road went from Maryland to basically East St. Louis. It stopped at the Mississippi River. There's a road Thomas Jefferson signed under. There's the placard on the outside of the building designating this site as a Illinois State Historic Site. Just look at those cool doors. We've got birds in flight just outside of Monk's Mountain flying around. Birdman tablet. It's the symbol of Cahokia Mounds now. Here's the official declaration as a World Heritage Site. About the only thing missing is the stockade that ran around the outside. This display shows you Monk's Mountain in comparison to other historical sites. So if you look at that surface area, Monk's Mountain is the largest. Some samples of pottery. This display is really interesting because it shows you how a mound is excavated. Different layers and everything. And another display shows how archaeology actually works.
How about I read every
Here are some more artifacts discovered. Quite honestly, it's amazing that what still remains here of Cahokia Mounds even exists today. From the 1920s on, this area was threatened. They were wanting by highway extensions and later the interstate. Some of the mounds that were lost, they were lost due to road improvements and things like that. So I'm so thankful that for that what exists here of Cahokia Mounds still exists today. My association with Cahokia Mounds goes back many years ago to when I was a Cub Scout, and we used to come out here. I think we came out here 2 or 3 times to Cahokia Mounds, and you know, it was a fun time. I learned a little bit. It was pretty exciting. I kind of forgot about, honestly, as I got older, about Cahokia Mounds and about the historical significance of it. And it's just been in recent years where I've been reacquainted with the importance of this place. There is history all around us. I just encourage you to get out there and go out and see things. See the historical sites in your neighborhoods and in your towns and communities and in the area in which you live. You don't have to travel far to be able to travel and to see something new and to learn something new. And when you learn something new and go someplace different, it forces you to grow as a person and to become a better you than you are now. Well, this has been another adventure in TV land from Cahokia Mounds near Collinsville, Illinois. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. And if there's someplace you'd like to see me go, leave a comment in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Until next time, that's a wrap.